Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is the first video that you have watched. This is the final flip through of the Crinoline Girl Journal collection. This one is a pink and green journal. There are two other journal flip throughs that are very similar on the outside but very different on the inside, which is why I've done 3 separate videos. So it is a series. It's my first journal video series. So I probably won't go into too much detail without feeling a bit repetitive on the cover, but I will just show you the different sort of fabric and charms on this one. So it's 4 signature. Now these silk ribbons are a little bit shorter than the other two, so that's sort of the look, I guess, if you do cut the ribbons a little bit shorter. And the charms are cherry blossoms, which I think is really sweet. So that's the charm on the decorated spine, and that is the beautiful vintage fabric. So it's roses on a trellis, and it starts the pink and green theme. So opening up this journal, inside I've used a French embroidery magazine journal. That's an original one, and a printable, I think that's from my embroidered tag kit. And I just put a little snippet of different things in the top corner and adhered it with one of the little brads for something a bit different, and that looks cute, just sort of hanging over the top of the pocket. For this journal, I extended the fabric at the bottom and wrapped that around to make that into a pocket. So it's the one piece of fabric from the cover, and I've used some beautiful trim on the spine. This was from the edge of a tablecloth, and I've actually fussy cut the roses out. So that is a pocket there that you can put something into on braille paper. On this side, it's a little tuck spot. Some beautiful vintage wallpaper, and that's on an antique French fashion magazine. It has fashion and gardening and all sorts of things. So I think it would have been the magazine in those days where it had a little bit of information and possibly some gossip. I have used some printable kits from my shop, and I will link those in the description for this video. Not every single kit, but most of them that I've used. Obviously I haven't used every single kit. I fussy cut some butterflies, and I thought that looked really pretty in amongst those flowers. Some handmade paper, a little collage here, and a really sweet wax seal that I've just coloured with the gold. There's a gold pen that you can use to add colour to wax seals. And these are some tuck spots here with some vintage wallpaper and eyelet. There are some fussy cut butterflies throughout, and I've just attached a piece of French legal document from 1878, which you can use to collage in your journal or make a tag from. And that's some really beautiful onion skin paper from France as well, and that's like a triplicate. So in the French courts, they would record what was happening, and there would be copies. Okay, so this is a fabric pocket here, a nice big one. And I've also attached a vintage Belgian telegram, and that's got a girl there holding flowers at the markets, and it has the ticker tape, which is really cool. Not many things have that on them. Some fussy cut flowers. This is a little tuck spot here and one of my watercolor floral images. Just some decorations. A part of a French receipt from 1920, so that's an original. Here I've actually glued with a glue stick because you don't see the glue marks if you use a glue stick. This is tissue paper from an order that I received, and I've kept it obviously because it had roses on it. But that's just a really simple, fun way to decorate a tag, and it keeps it sort of light and delicate. And I've just put a fabric topper, the same. This is Tana Liberty Lawn, and it's really beautiful to ruffle and tear. So that's, you know, a handy hint if you're making a journal and you don't want to use lace or tulle or anything like that. Some fabric can be quite heavy on a page, but the Liberty Lawn is quite silky feeling. So I've got some avocado dyed sari trim there, and somewhere to journal. Some of these I have stuck down, others I've made into tuck spots, but that's the beautiful fashionably French lady for this journal. And I've made a tag out of a printable with a fussy cut butterfly and some silk at the top. This is one of the butterflies that you can use as a little tuck spot, and I've just left that there to add some layering. I have a tag cut from a Victorian flower album. My mum's been doing those for me, which is really handy, and I am grateful. A lace trim from Emily's shop. I'll link that in the description. And just a little bit of detail here. This is a belly band, so you can actually tuck something in there. And over here I have, this is in the other two journals I've used a quarter of this beautiful hanky. It's got tatting all the way around the edge and it's so small and delicate. This journal got half because the embroidered aspect was on this one, so I've turned it into 2 pockets, and I've put some of my pressed flower tags in each of the pockets, so that's some journaling space there. A piece of embroidered tablecloth. I've just hand torn that so it has a shabby look. And one of my labels, some vintage wallpaper. This made a really cool tuck spot. So this was a big piece of, I think it's called raised lace. And I just cut some elements and made a little tuck spot for one of my doily labels. I have used original book pages in here as well. There's a little, you can actually use the wing edges to tuck things in if you like. I use some tulle as a ruffle there. Yes, I've got to double check. This one is a little hidden tuck spot on some vintage music paper. On here I've just clipped, it's like a floating pocket. I've got antique music paper on the back, a printable on the front. And what I've done is wrapped some seam binding, tied a ribbon, and then I used the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher stapler and I stapled that on there. But you can actually use this as a little tuck spot. And obviously that is a tuck spot with one of my ledger and lace tags in it. And there's some antique lace across the bottom of that. Printable, and here I've got another little tuck spot and beautiful eyelet that I've avocado dyed, and this is original vintage wallpaper tag that I've collaged. That's probably one of my favourite pages in the journal. This was kind of fun, so I have a little fabric pocket there with one of the linen tags and just a little snippet and some trim there. And then here I have a piece of ephemera that you can sort of do some hidden journaling on the back and underneath, and it's sort of hidden journaling there as well. So she's sort of peeking out from the side, which I thought was a bit fun. That's another one of those butterfly tucks. It's a good name for it, butterfly tucks. I can see them appearing in a lot of my journals going into the future. This is the beautiful vintage glass button or antique glass button on this journal. It's a beautiful blush peachy pink colour. And another tuck spot there just with a fussy cut flower. That's another way, a nice way of adding like a layer and some dimension and texture to a tuck spot. And some gorgeous green daisy trim with some handmade paper there. Beautiful book page in the center, and some nice lace that I've turned into a belly band, and that's another one of my linen tags, and more of that tissue paper, and that's a little snippet from a music book page, just sort of a light collage there for fun. Fussy cut flower. On this tag, this is a tea stained tag. I've put some music paper and a little piece of printable, just something simple but fun. This is a tuck spot here, and that is a piece of French receipt with a little bit of wallpaper at the top, and this I've turned into a little floating pocket with a ruffle at the top, and that just tucks in there. Of course, you can move ephemera around in a journal as much as you want. In fact, I like to get a journal and I look through it, because the person who's created it has obviously taken time to place ephemera in certain spots for a reason. But then I really like to take all the ephemera out, and I spend hours trying to work out where I want to put the ephemera back in. So that's something fun that you can do if you have a decorated journal. Here is a piece of beautiful vintage fabric and a wallpaper, original wallpaper. I've just put some trim at the top and a little piece of music paper on the bottom there. I just liked the number and the natural aging, so I just tucked that in there. And the back page has a pocket as well, and another one of those printable tags with the fussy cut butterfly, so I've just tucked that in there. So that is the pink and green journal, and that is the end of my Crinoline Girls journal collection series. That's a mouthful, but I said it so easily, so there you go. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, but I thank you if you have watched all 3 of my journal videos for this series. I do humbly thank you for sticking it out and persisting, and I do really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, and I'll see you again in my next video.